Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap Session for Tuesday, February the 28th, 2017. It is the last day of trading for February. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels and our targets. We do create multiple hypotheses to have a plan in place. Then we determine what the market is doing and then execute on the plan that is closest to what the market is showing us. This is a subscription room, so if you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody is a certified trading advisor. All trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own risk capital, and your own trade plan. And please read through the disclaimer. It's a little discombobulated today. Let's take a look at the news. We just had the preliminary GDP quarter over quarter. It was expected at 2.1. It came out at 1.9. Although, we did get basically a couple misses and a couple beats, but the big one was this one right here, which was pretty much same as prior at 1.9, but obviously off the mark of what was expected at 2.1. 9 o'clock we have S&P CS Composite HPI. This has been changed. This is a new name. Then you've got Chicago PMI, and then you've got CB Consumer Confidence, all within the first within the first 30 minutes of the RTH. Of course, we've got this one coming out in about 11 minutes. And then there's really nothing else. Now, the big thing is tonight, Trump will be addressing Congress, which is the State of the Union address. It's not really the State of the Union address. We don't call that until after the first year, but it is his first time laying out his plans in front of Congress and the House. So we're likely to see some movement today based on the news, but as we get to the end of the day, it's probably going to tighten up. Excuse me for 1 second. Losing my voice. So taking a look at yesterday, our main hypothesis, let me just expand this out. Yesterday, our main hypothesis was to open auction in range, move down towards the 60 through to the, I think we were looking at 59.75 to 57.75, finding buyers, and then rotating us up through the upper distribution from Friday, and then going up and hitting the double top at 23.70, which was a all-time high put in the Globex on Sunday night. Also was a weak high because of the double top, and we were looking for them to go up and break that and go put in a new all-time high, and that's exactly what we did. We didn't get quite the continuation. We did have that zipper measured move. That zipper measured move is still valid, that we looked at yesterday in the 4-tick Renko. There it was right there. It does not get violated until we get below 62. The target on that, the primary target, was 71.75, and they missed it by 4 ticks. We've since come down, and we've been going sideways all night. Very, very tight range overnight. Only a 4-point range overnight. They're accepting value in around the 23.6750. This market just does not want to pull back for some reason. So our overall hypothesis played out very well. yesterday in the ES. Let's just take a step back. Sorry, still getting over my sickness on Friday. I always like to start my day taking a look at a candlestick chart. I use a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA, and what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the strength of the trend. I start on the monthly and I work my way down. And as I do that, I'm looking to see where we are within each time frame. You can see on the monthly we have this upward channel that we still have room to go to. That takes us into the 2450 area on this current channel. We've had a multi-year upward move, good trend. Then we challenged it at the end of 15, beginning of 16, and now we've got the continuation pattern happening, and we just put in new all-time high at 2370.75. This is put in the RTH, so it is equalized that Globex high. Going to the weekly, you can see that, again, we've got good slope and separation. We do have, we're creating a little bit of a technical gap, a move away from the 9 EMA, a move back down will probably bring us back into the 23 area by the time we get there. But right now, the trend is very much up on the weekly. On the daily, you can see that we have the same thing, good slope, good separation. We did come back and test the 9 on Friday, then we bounced and we held and put a new high, and now right now we're having an inside day so far against yesterday's full session. But the trend itself is still up. And we're just basically, we're stair-stepping. We move up, go sideways, we move up, go sideways, we move up. This was the biggest downturn. And then we move up, go sideways, move up, go sideways. So still some strength in this market. Of course, tonight will be interesting to see how the market reacts to the Trump speech. Going to the intraday, you can see that we are coming into a consolidation phase here. We did have a Mr. Sneaky here, but it was kind of in balance already. And we've just been going sideways from there. Right now we're testing the 9 EMA, but we're holding it. If we break below that, look for them to come down and test the 23.63 1/4. I'm really watching that 23.60.50 area. I'll show you why in a couple minutes. But so far the strength, we're losing slope and separation. So the trend is weakening to the upside right now. And then going down to the 1 hour, you can see that we've broken below the 9 and the 20 in this consolidation phase here, and we have a possibility of a start of a downward trend on the 1 hour. Going to the 30-minute, you can see that we have rolled over. We are below the 9 and the 20. A move up to test the 9 will take us back up into the 23.66.75. So we are seeing a little bit of weakness, but again, a little pullback is nothing, with the strength of this market, and I'd be watching that 23.60 and how they react to that. Going to the 15-minute, you can see that downward trend that's starting on the 1 hour and the 30-minute is accelerating. On the 15-minute, we've got slope and separation to the downside, and then if we move one more down into the 5-minute, you can see that we've had a fairly decent downtrend since about 7 o'clock this morning Eastern time, but now we're coming up and we're above we're trying to get above the 9 EMA. We tested the 20 SMA, so I'll be watching this level right here at 66 1/4. And if we can't hold 65.75, then I'd be looking for that 63.75 pullback and possibly even the 60.50. All right, so taking a look at the structure in the big picture. This is my RTH daily. This is just showing me the RTH sessions, just getting a context here so that we have something to work with. We created this balance area, very strong balance. We accepted price at the 65 area, had our breakout day, then the gap up. They created the island top, accepted price at the 89, gap down, came down, picked up the late buyers down here at the 65 level, accepted price higher outside of balance. The value area high was the balance at 69.50, accepted price higher outside of balance at 76, gapped up, accepted that 89.25 again, and then we go. And then we go into price discovery, okay, after breaking out of value and accepting price higher, we go gap, price discovery up, gap, price discovery up, gap, 2-day balance, accept the price here at 23.22, and then we move again up, accept price here in around the 23.41, and then we gap up again, holiday day, then we continue and move, and now we're in this 5-day balance, and you got to look at the shape of this profile. Oops. This profile is a perfect Gaussian distribution, well, as close to perfect as you can get. This is balance. What does the market do? The market moves from balance to imbalance, and then creates balance and then moves again. This is telling me that we're in for a bigger move. Now, right now, it still looks like we're, as long as we're above the 23.60.50, it still looks like that it's going to be a continuation pattern and continue this trend up. But if we pull back to the 60.50 and we can't hold 60.50, then we've got to be looking at the 57 as a warning line, and then 51. I'm actually going to use 52.75. I've been looking at that 52.75 because I want to target the 51 and possibly the half gap fill, which is the 50.50. And the gap fill is closed in terms of the range at the high here at 23.48.75, and then the naked close, the actual gap close, is a move down to 23.47. And I think if we get back into this distribution, we're likely to move down through towards that 43.41 area. So warning line right now is going to be your 57. I wouldn't put it past them to come back to the 60.50. To the 57 level to test it, but if they continue to move down and test the lower side of this balance and don't hold the 52.75, look for them to push down into the 51 and most likely down into those levels that we were discussing down here. There's not much to discuss to the upside. You can watch the 64.50 area. If we remain outside of balance, I'd be looking for them to go and take out that all-time high at 23.70.75. First target above is the CHVN in that upper distribution HVN at 23.68.75. So if we take a look at the overnight session, you can see that we opened the overnight at 23.63.75. Basically, we quickly moved down to test that 61 level, the 60.50 level. They found the buyers right at the microcomposite VPOC, rotated us up into the 68.50, 68.75 area, and then I'm sorry, I'm looking at yesterday's RTH. We opened in the Globex at 68.50. We moved down to the VPOC from the Globex yesterday and found buyers, and then rotated us up into yesterday's VPOC at 68.50. And then we basically have just been going sideways and accepting that price around 67.50. Only a 4-point RTH range so far. We do have news coming out in 1 minute. So I don't know if the news is going to affect us in the next minute or so, but right now our overnight high is up at 68.50, or I'm sorry, 68.75, right at yesterday's VPOC, and which really shifted just into the close. It shifted up from the 67.25, and you can see that that 67.50 is the Globex. This really is a V, what I call stealing the VPOC into the close, where we actually shifted the VPOC up to the 68.75 right in the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes of the futures trading. But the real value where we held for a long period of time, most of the afternoon after it shifted up, was around that 67.25, and you can see that we're holding that balance right now. Our overnight low is 64.75. This still has possibility of being challenged and taken out before the RTH session. The news should be out, so let me pull up that news. Shoot, I closed my Forex down. So we were expected 5.3, came out at 5.6, so it's a beat. That should hold the market above the 64.75. No guarantees there. Our overnight VPOC, of course, is not likely to shift, 67.50. Currently, right now, our 20-period full session ATR is running at 1539. So 23 64.75 plus the 1539 takes us up to our daily upside ATR target at 23.80.25. So our full session ATR gives us lots of room to continue upwards towards those targets. The measured moves we've got at 76.50 and 79.25. To the downside, 68.75 minus the 1539. Our downside daily ATR target takes us down to 53.25. And that's where I had my key line in the sand yesterday. In fact, you know what? I'm going to leave it there. Actually, I'm going to move it just so that we can see it. I'm going to move it down to that 52.75 and leave this at 53.25. It's really this range that I'm looking at right now. The reason I was using the 53.25 is that it was that little LVN, and I was looking, if we went down there and broke the LVN, we would have been breaking out of that value area from Friday, and a move down to test the 51.50 low of Friday and the move to the gap at 50.50, gave me some room to get in and get funded and possibly hope for the bigger move to the naked close down here at 47.50. So I'm going to leave that there. So in terms of levels, obviously we want to watch the 60.50 area. I'm going to use the 60.50 up to the 61, which means that if we come down, I want to see them bounce and get above 61 before I take a long, and I want to wait below the 60.50 to get short, and I'll be targeting this 57.75 and possibly even further down. I don't need this anymore, so let's move that over and let's just expand this out so we can take a look at this. So we have the 57 that I'll be watching. So that's just below that target at 57.75. That breaks us below the value area of the microcomposite, and then I'd be looking for that move down to test the 53, 52.75 area, and then my thoughts below that. And then in terms of the, you can use the 65.25. This is a valid value area. It's, I don't know how, I mean, it's not far enough away from me to try to short it there because you've got the overnight low and they could bounce off of that overnight low. But you've got this LVN here at 66.25. I'm actually going to use the 66.25 for a move to test the value area low and possibly take out the overnight low. But I will need a very good trade setup for me to execute off of here because this is still right in balance. And then to the upside, this is a valid value area high, so I could take the breakout for them to go up and test and target the all-time high. And then any breakouts, I don't want to try to fade it. You just want to, be long by the time we have that breakout and see how far we can actually push up. There's nothing to guide us up here. We've got a couple measured moves, but we know that we have range capabilities based on the full session ATR of 1539. So I'd be looking for a move at, off the low of the RTH of 10 points if we go on the breakout. So what's our hypotheses look like? Going to be really tough to trade right here. And you're going to have to be very diligent in terms of making sure that you accept being wrong quickly, because I think that we're going to get two-sided trading coming in on the open. We do have news at 9:45 and 10 o'clock, so be patient. Don't get into a trade too early. Wait for the market to prove itself out. Don't be in a position going into the news unless you're in profit and have a stop in place that locks in your profit. But my main hypothesis really doesn't change more than it did yesterday. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. We're stair-stepping up. The only thing I can say is open auction in range, move down towards the 60-50 area, and finding buyers between the 60-50 and the 57 area, and then, stair-stepping us up, putting a higher low, and then pushing up. So, a move, responsive selling down, finding buyers down here, moving up, coming back, creating a higher low, and then just walking us up. I'm not thinking I'm looking for that breakout. I just don't know if it's going to be today until Trump speaks. But, I'm still continuing to look to the upside overall. The second and the better hypothesis for me would be if we opened auction in range, took out the overnight high, and failed to break out of value or failed to put in a new all-time high, came down, tried to rally again, and failed, then I'd be looking for shorts down towards that 57, if not the 53 area. That would be the better trade, but I just don't know if it's going to happen. Hypo 3 is a open test drive. Take out the overnight low, hold above the 60-50, and then the buyers taking control and ripping us up into the 75 to 76 area, chopping around here, and then get continuation and push up through into the 2380s. And I would expect if that move happens, that move would be inside of the development of the IB. So I'd be looking for an early push rather than a slow grind up and then a late day probe. And then Hypo 4 is an open auction in range, a move up to take out the overnight high and then fail miserably, come down to the 61, chop around the microcomposite VPOC, and then fail and push down through chop around in the 53 and actually come all the way down into the 40s and close somewhere down here in around this balance that we created. You've got a double distribution here with the LVN at 43. So I'd be targeting the 45 area and 43, and then if we broke the 43 down to the 41. Again, it's not much to guide us. These are only hypotheses. I'm not trying to claim, what the market's going to do. I know what I'm looking for, and based on that, I'm going to try to execute on one of my 4 hypos and trade based on that. So I've got a plan in place. Don't ever think that I'm just trying to hedge all the the possibilities here. That's not what these sessions are about. These sessions are about looking at what the possibilities are and what to look for, for those things to come into play, and then execute on those ideas based on the levels that we've discussed. Taking a look at gold. Gold made another move up. And we were looking yesterday for balance in around the 58. Basically, that's what we got. We did get some sell-off late in the day yesterday. They moved down $14.10. We have had a pretty strong move at 38.10, and we were looking for the possibility of coming up here into the 62.50. If we had gotten above that 53.75 area, we hit that prior microcomposite VPOC. There was that there was at the 1265, they had 500 contracts sitting there yesterday. We got to the high of yesterday, one tick in front of that at 64.90. And then if you're watching your dome at the time, and I said, if they take those 500 out, we could get a spike, a $2 spike up. But if you were watching what was happening, they were pulling those, they were actually taking that inventory lower, and that was profit taking. And I was late to get into the short. I got a little bit of the short, but not enough of it. I should have had a much bigger chunk of it. Anyway, right now we're trading right around this balance in around the 56, 57, 58 area. The key to watch is the first warning line is going to be, it's actually moved down a little bit. Let me just move this. All right, you don't want to move. I'm going to delete you. And it's going to be 53.20. 53.20 takes us down to the value area, 3-day value area low, and down to this LVN. If we break below that, then we've got this this distribution zone down to the 1250.50. The key line for me is really going to be starting right here. You can use the 45. But I'm actually going to use a little bit higher. I'm going to use this LVN right here at 46.50. Why? Because what do we have right here? We have a significant, we had our balance that we created. Actually, there should be another profile here, so let me just put it here. Profile should be right here on these 5 days. Okay, and what do? We had our significant breakout candle. So if we get below the 47, we're inside of that significant breakout candle. What am I always looking for on the significant breakout candle? I'm looking for the midpoint. And the midpoint of that is 44.30. All right, so that's why I'm using the 40, because we'll be falling out of this balance. We have not held the price acceptance here, the longer term price acceptance at 50.50 and coming down, and then we break below that that LVN. It's actually a little bit lower, isn't it? Why is that not allowing me to adjust it? All right, so get rid of you. Sorry, I don't know, usually I can move these around. It's actually 46.70. So looking for that, and then I'd be targeting this 44.25, and then possibly down to 42. If we don't hold the 42, then I'm looking for a bigger move down to the 38, but the big target is still going to be down here at the 34. I think that we're, if we can hold above that 50.50, I'd be looking for continuation. I'd be looking for a move up beyond the 63.70 and a push up into the 71 to 75 area as our next target to the upside. So that's gold. That's going to complete our pre-market session. I know I went long today, but there's lots to talk about. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.